Story. I'm Kylie Montigney, and on this episode, I'm here with Donahue, who's a volunteer for the City of Pittston, such as the Pittston Parade and Tomato Festival. And thank you so much, Sarah, for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So, how did you get involved in the City of Pittston?
Actually, I started a long time ago, back in, I'd say maybe like 2003, with the Pittston Tomato Festival, which I'm still a part of today. I was a volunteer. Lori Nacito took me under her wing and was very helpful in guiding me towards my event career, and she's always loved Pittston. I grew up loving Pittston. My dad introduced me to her. He was friends with her, and I just thought, I want to do this. I want to help. I want to plan events in this town. And in that time, we have just grown so many more events beyond Tomato Festival, and that's something that I'm pretty proud of.
Mm-hmm. Like, were you in high school, college at the time, or?
I was in college, yep. I was in college at Elizabethtown near Hershey, and I was studying communications and political science, and my plan was to do event planning, so I took a left turn somewhere becoming a teacher, but here we are. I still love event planning. I actually have the best of both worlds because I get to plan events and I still get to teach, so I'm very lucky.
So you combine both things that you love.
Yep.
So like, I know like with you, you combine public relations, communications, political science. I know you were talking about this before that I want to major in. But like, why did you kind of decide to go in like public relations, political science, that stuff?
Well, we had to minor in something at Elizabethtown, and I thought political science looked like fun, and I thought maybe my career would go that way someday. I would just work in political science somehow. I always thought it was interesting, so I picked that as my minor, but I just knew that I wanted to plan events and I wanted to do public relations, and I'm lucky that I still get to do that while still getting to teach, which is my true love. I love teaching. I'll never give up that job, but I spend my summers and a lot of the winter with St. Patrick's Parade also planning events too, and that makes me happy. So,
so you always like, without working at a Pittston area, you always like do things with public relations, whether it's like Tomato Festival, like do things combine both things.
And St. Patrick's Parade and a number of the other events in town I help with, and I love it.
I know with Pittston, like they have so many great, amazing events. It's amazing. I know a lot of people will oftentimes come down to Pittston from or like down 2 hours away, or no matter how you live, whether I come down to Pittston for like a Tomato Festival or
St. Patrick's Parade or whatever. That's our goal. We want people to come in to see the town and see the new businesses that we have. And a number of years ago, we wouldn't be able to have the events that we do because we didn't necessarily have the infrastructure in the town, the amount of businesses that we do now for people to go to. So when we had the St. Pat's Parade, then afterwards they get to take their family for lunch somewhere and do the other things and see some of the businesses. So they work together. The fact that we have a great downtown now, we're able to have these events. If we didn't have the downtown, we wouldn't have the events that we were able to have. But our goal is for people to come in and see the town, and I think we're doing pretty good with it.
Definitely. Like I know, like with people, like I know, like downtown Pittston, which we are in right now. Like the city in Pittston is so beautiful. That's like, who doesn't want to come to Pittston, PA? Especially this town and businesses. I know Drip Coffee opened early this year or last year.
Yep.
And like I know Drip Coffee, Pittston, everything that Pittston has to offer. Like we didn't have this like 5-10 years ago.
They've come a really long way, and I'm happy that I have a little part to do with that and helping plan the events to bring the people into town, which then bring more businesses into town. So it's a great relationship between the two, the events and the businesses in town, and we feed off of each other for sure.
And like, where are like the upcoming events Pitston's holding? I know like in a couple weeks Pittston Tomato Festival.
Well, that'll come soon. Well, we have our art walks every second Friday in town, and that one will be next Friday actually. And then we have Tomato Festival, which is always the third Thursday in August, so that's easy to plan forever. And that's wonderful. Everyone knows Tomato Festival. We have great vendors, great food. There's a little carnival area for kids now and teenagers to hang out and ride some of the rides. We have our Little Miss and Little Mister contest, tomato, the Tomato Parade, and then we have the race, of course, the 5K race. So we have a lot of events within the Tomato Festival itself. And after that, we get into some of the fall events like Pittston Pink and Trick or Treat Main Street, and it's time for Christmas already. So
it's like there's always events coming around, no matter if it's fall, spring, summer. There's always events coming down.
Yep. After Christmas, then we have St. Patrick's Parade in March, and then we get into our art walks again in the summer events. So here in town, we have a lot of events all season, always kid friendly. That's always been one of my goals, to make sure that everything is free and kid friendly. There's movies at the Slope Amphitheater once a month, which is, I think, wonderful. So head up there next to the library and see some of the movies. That's a really nice event. So lots going on in town always.
Like, what can we expect from like the Tomato Festival this year? I know like every year it's always different. It's always a success. I usually go every single year, and it's just amazing with the games and everything. I know a lot of people usually enjoy it.
It's tough because we love Tomato Festival as is, and you don't want to reinvent the wheel when you have something that works, but it's important to keep things relevant too. So we actually have, we're separating the rides a little bit, more like little kid rides and then bigger kid rides, try to separate that crowd a little bit for the family. So those rambunctious teenagers that I love teaching so much won't necessarily be hanging out next to the little kids wanting to do the little rides. So we're going to separate those into two different areas. Most of the vendors are still the same ones that have been in there for many, many years, and not sure if there's any new ones. Tony's Pizza is coming back, I do know that, and they always, a lot of people last year were looking for them, but the usuals will be there. The sausage and peppers, the Greco sandwich, all this stuff that people grow to love every year and literally come to the Tomato Festival for.
Ooh, I like it. I think as long as it doesn't really change much, it's like each planning, if you have the same people, vendors, games each year, it's much like a very easy planning if you get the same people every year. Because the Tomato Festival has been around for years and years.
40, it's our 40th anniversary this year, actually, yeah.
No way.
40 years of Tomato Fest. It started out on Kennedy Boulevard, where Burger King is now.
Oh, really?
Yep. That was the original Tomato Fest.
Oh, I thought it was always kind of by like the public square.
No, it was started out where Burger King is at. So at some point it got so big we had to grow it, and that's when I actually came on board, was when that happened, that we moved up to this lower and upper lot here on Main Street, which I think works out really, really well. And that area, sometimes I think about it if I drive by there, run by there. I'm like, I can't believe we fit Tomato Festival in this space here, but we did, and it was
especially since it's
wonderful.
so like small area.
Yeah, compared to what we do now, it's grown a lot in those 40 years for sure.
Definitely. And like during the Tomato Festival, I know you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you guys are having a pageant called Little Miss and Mr. Tomato, and like tell us more about that.
That is for children ages 2 to 6 years old. I plan that with Angel noon, and we invite kids to come up on stage. I ask them a couple questions about how they do they like tomatoes, what's their favorite food at the Tomato Festival, what's their favorite ride or favorite thing about it. And the judges will give them points based on like poise and how they answer my questions, how they interact with me, and then they pick a Little Miss and Little Mr. Tomato. So it's only $5 to enter. Every child gets something for participating, some little trinket of sorts, and then the winners will get to ride in the parade the following year, because it's held after the parade happens this year. Parade's on Saturday, Little Miss is on Sunday, so it happens a little bit later.
Like at least I get to kind of do something with the city of Pittston like each year, instead of like, oh, just winning, we don't do nothing after that. I guess it's a pageant.
Yep, we keep it, and now they'll get to be in the parade this year, and we'll invite our Little Miss and Little Mr. Leprechaun too from St. Pat's Parade, and I think the parade is going to be really nice this year. I already have a lot of entries and a lot of new entries too, which I'm really excited about. Not returners, so that's great. That shows that people are interested, they want to participate, they like the parade, they like the town, and they want to put something together and show it off on our parade, and I love that. So I'm excited to see a lot of new interest in the parade this year.
Yeah, it just shows how much the parade in the town and the Tomato Festival is growing each year with new participants and vendors and organizations that are willing to actually put their businesses out there and be part of the Tomato Festival.
Which is wonderful, because I know with the parade, it's not cheap to do. By the time you decorate your float and you buy candy to hand out to the kids, it's a very expensive endeavor. So I do appreciate the groups that do enter the parade and spend all that money making it look very festive and giving candy to the kids, because that's all they want, obviously, watching the parade is the candy. I know that. So people do a really great job, and I'm always very humbled to see how much people put into their efforts.
Definitely. And like, what is like your favorite part about Pittston itself?
My favorite part about Pittston would probably be my apartment, where I get to rest and hang out with my cats. I do love it, but I love that this town is just always growing new businesses. We just added Drip, where we are now, not very long ago, and for me it's so close to my house. I love just coming over here for a great cup of coffee. I love the shops, the businesses, the restaurants. I love eating at Ricasa on the roof. It's so beautiful up there. I love shopping for some good meats at Sabatelli's. I love Fuji, I love Dora, I love all the new businesses coming into the Cooper's building, which is really an amazing transformation from what that building was to what it is now. There's so many great businesses in there. I love the YMCA. I get to go there and work out. I just love how it's so vibrant, and I love living downtown that I get to just walk out my door and go to all these places. I love not driving if I don't have to. So it's a beautiful downtown. It's only growing. By the day, it seems there's more businesses coming, and I love the events in town, and just so happy to be here and be a part of it.
Especially if you live in this like town of Pittston and be close to the surrounding areas. Like there's like if you live in Pittston and around the surrounding areas, you're like it makes you realize how grateful you are and how much you love the city. Like I know like when I go with my grandma, she always says, "Oh my God, this town is beautiful. This is amazing." But it's like if you live in this town, like you just like never realize how amazing it is, the businesses, the people, and whoever it has to offer. Like sometimes a lot of people take it for granted, whatever it is. But when I go down the road or go down for an interview around here or something, or walk around, it's like whenever I walk down here, I'm like, this is the best place on earth. Like it feels like heaven. Like it is. It's just like this is like, and I just feel like I would never rather live anywhere else but around here.
I've often thought of moving, and eventually I'd love to buy a house, but I think like, oh man, I'm really going to miss living downtown if I buy a house somewhere. As much as I love my apartment, I don't want to pay rent forever. I would like to own a house someday, and I think, oh, I don't know that I could do it. I'm going to be really lonely, and I'm going to miss going to Drip and going to all the places I get to walk to. So
it's like a lot of pros and cons to
absolutely, but no, for now I'm happy here. I love it.
Might as well take it in for now and before anything happens. Who knows what's going to be here in about 5 to 10 years.
It's going to be even better.
Oh yeah.
We're only going to keep growing businesses and keep making it better, and I'm excited for all the new ones to come for sure.
Yeah. And like, what is like your favorite event at Pittston Tomato?
This is a tough question. I have to say the St. Patrick's Parade.
Ooh.
I have to say that is my favorite. It is the one I by and far put the most time and love into. I have been on the committee since the first year, since year 1. I've been a part of it and planning it, and we just had our 10th anniversary this year, which was a pretty big milestone. The St. Pat's Parade had a lot of growing pains in its infancy and toddler years. It really did, and it was a lot of power struggles and a lot of drama within the committee and differing groups wanting to take over, and it was just very, very stressful. So the fact that we made it to 10 successfully, and really we've grown it every single year to add the race. We have a Leprechaun Loop race, and we have a Little Miss and Little Mr. Leprechaun contest and a pub crawl. So we've really added a number of events to the parade itself, and to me, to be able to do that in 10 years, I'm just really proud of that effort. And I think Parade Day is wonderful. We rarely have any kind of problems with the bar crowds. They behave pretty much. It's not like Scranton, I think. I think everybody just has a great time. I think that bar crowd does a great job of staying away from the family crowd, and I know I hear a lot of people say that they feel very comfortable taking their kids to our parade, that there's not going to be like a big drug fest, that they're worried about their little kids being exposed to that. And if I ever hear that that's not the case, I'm going to be pretty upset about it, and I'm definitely going to have to adjust that, because my goal is the kids. My priority is making sure that they are happy and entertained. Everything else is wonderful, and I'm happy the businesses and bars do well, but they're not my goal. They're not my priority. My priority is the kids sitting on the sidewalk smiling. That's what I worry about, number one.
That's the most important thing, because if you see kids smiling and doing all, having fun and stuff, you're like, okay,
I'm good.
That's all I want for this.
That's all I want.
It's like with the Pittston, like whatever parade it is, Tomato Festival parade or St. Patrick's Parade or whatever, like parade that you guys usually held or anything. Like it's just like every kid that comes here, whether it's like about 5 years old, 10 years old, like 16 years old, like how old they are. Like they're usually everyone's happy. Like everyone's happy, even though if they might be drinking or whatever. It's like when I see that, they don't usually like have a fit or anything.
No.
So we're closing at 1-2, so we have to pick up the patio furniture.
Okay.
Sorry.
But we'll be this now.
Sorry?
We'll leave this right now.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Like 1 more minute.
That's totally fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And because everyone just like loves the Tomato Festival. That every time they come to these things, they're like, okay, thank you. So, like this is amazing. Like I want to be here.
That's the goal. That's my goal. Happy people.
Happy people, happy life.
Yep.
And like the last thing I
volunteers to help, especially with lineup. Lineup is a huge worry of mine to put all the groups in order when it comes to parade planning. Just email me, s.q@cityofpittston.org, and I'll give you a job to do for sure. I'm always looking for helpers.
Any more helpers you need, the more or less work you have to do.
That's wonderful.
And like, I want to thank you so much, Sarah, for taking the time. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
It was a good
and-
conversation.
Of course, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.